Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I hope you're having a great day. Now let's get into today's case. So today we're going to talk about the case. It is a very recent case, so I just want to clarify that there's still new information coming out every now and then, and there's a lot of things that are not out yet. So by the time I upload this video, if there's something that is missing in this video, it might be because of that reason. So, Tristan Bailey. Tristan Bailey was born on 18 January 2008, which would make her an Capricorn, and she was only 13 years old. She was from St. Johns County, from Jacksonville, Florida, which is known as one of the most safer places in Florida, and it is also one of the richest counties in Florida. Her parents are Forrest Bailey and Stacy Bailey, and she has 4 siblings, 3 sisters and 1 brother, and Tristan was the youngest in her family. And from what I saw, they look like a very close-knit and loving family. They seem like very loved and very respected in their community. So Tristan used to attend the Patriot Oaks Academy in St. John's, Florida, and she was in 7th grade. Tristan is described as a very loved and liked person by everyone. Her family describes her as someone who had a contagious laugh, beautiful smile, and she was a firecracker. Someone who always made her presence known, and she loved being the center of attention. Tristan was also a part of a cheerleading team, which she was extremely passionate about, and she would also call her cheerleading friends as her squad. And all of this kind of gives you the idea of how loving, talented, and passionate she was. So fast forward, at 8th of May, at around 11:45 p.m., Tristan's family came back home from a night out, and then after that everyone went into their rooms to sleep. And that would be the last time Tristan's family would see her alive ever again. So the following morning, it's 9th of May, which is a Sunday, and it's also Mother's Day in US. At around 9:40 a.m., Tristan's older sister, she arrives at their house for a Mother's Day breakfast. And they're looking for Tristan, and they couldn't find her anywhere. She wasn't in her room, she wasn't anywhere in the house, and she had plans with her sister to have breakfast together. So everyone's looking for her, and since it was a Sunday, it wasn't like she had school or any cheerleading practice. So, and she also hasn't told anyone if she had any plans of leaving the house early that day. She wasn't at any of her friends' house. She was nowhere. No one knew where she was. And so after looking around for almost 20 minutes, her family reported her missing. Now this must be really out of character for Tristan, because Tristan's family wasted no time in reporting her missing. And also the good thing about this case is that the police, they wasted no time in jumping onto Tristan's case, and from the start they were very serious about Tristan. Because usually with missing cases, police usually ask the family to wait for a while, because maybe the kid ran away, maybe they just went out and they'll come back. But runaway was not even considered in this case since the start. Even the police didn't consider it a runaway case, and they jumped onto the case right away. The police posted a missing person poster of Tristan on their Facebook, and they asked anyone if anyone had any information about her, they should come forward. But no one came forward. Even though this post got a lot of social media attention, there still wasn't any information that came out of it. The police started searching for her everywhere in the surrounding areas, in the places that she was familiar with, but they couldn't get any clue where Tristan was. And meanwhile the police were searching, Tristan's neighboring community also formed search parties, and they started looking for Tristan. So no one's wasting any time. Everyone's on to finding Tristan. So while all of this is going on, a man from their neighboring community, he decides to do his own search, and he goes to this wooded area which is near his house. He goes there alone. He's walking in looking for Tristan, and as he's walking he comes across a body, and as soon as he sees it, he calls 911. Police comes in, and soon it will be discovered that it was in fact the body of Tristan Bailey. Tristan's body on discovery is described to be badly mutilated, and later autopsy results would conclude that Tristan's cause of death was blunt force trauma, and it was ruled a homicide. Tristan was stabbed a total of 114 times. Medical examiners concluded that 49 of those stab wounds were on Tristan's head, arms, and hands, and indicating that they were defensive wounds, which tells us that Tristan was probably alive and defending herself for 49 of those stab wounds out of total 114. This attack was so vicious and gruesome that they ended up finding a piece of murder weapon in Tristan's body. So the news of Tristan's body being found went around, and the condition that it was found in, it made people think that there might be a serial killer on the loose. There was a huge vigil held for Tristan, which was attended by her friends, her family, and the neighboring community. Meanwhile, the police are continuing their investigation. They went out to the wooded area where Tristan's body was found, and they're searching for any clues or evidence. There was a pond in that wooded area, and the police ended up searching it, and they ended up finding what they believed was the murder weapon. It was a knife that they found. So the police is doing everything they can to get any leads, because right now they have nothing. They have no suspects, they have no clues, they have no leads. They're going around questioning people, they're trying to find any security camera footages, and they got very lucky because there was a community center near the area where Tristan's body was found, and they had a security camera which was faced towards that area. So the police goes and reviews the security camera footage, and they find Tristan on the video, but they don't find her alone. At around 1:45 a.m. they see Tristan walking with someone else, and they're going towards that wooded area. And then at around 3:27 a.m. the person who was with Tristan, they come out alone of that wooded area, and they had their shoes in their hands, and they're walking away from that area. So this was a huge clue, because the girl was clearly Tristan because of the way she was dressed, and the other person, it wouldn't take them long to find out who that other person was. So the person that was seen with Tristan on the security camera footage, his name is Aiden Fucci. Aiden is 14 years old, and he was from the same neighborhood as Tristan, and he also attended the same academy as Tristan. Aiden's mother's name is Crystal Smith, and his father's name is Jason Fucci. Aiden used to live with his mom and his stepfather. Now there's not a lot of information about what his relationship is with his family, but Aiden's actual father, Jason, he has some shady background. Aiden's father has an extensive police record. In 2003, he was charged with child abuse and lewd battery, and then he's had a couple of other run-ins with the law with charges for theft and driving with a suspended license. In 2016, he was again arrested for battery after cops claimed that he got into a fight with a couple at a gas station, and his son was present with him at that time. So this is the only information I could find about his father, and there's not much about his mother or his stepfather or what their relationship is with each other. So because of the security camera footage, now police goes to Aiden's house and they take him for interrogation. And while he's in police car, he takes a very demeaning Snapchat picture with the caption, "Hey, has anybody seen Tristan lately?" Which right away is a red flag, because why would you do that? Your schoolmate just got murdered and you're getting arrested to get questioned about it. So, a lot of people say that he did that as a way of showing off that he was very proud of what he did. So he gets taken to the interrogation room, and he was there with his parents. So as you know, a lot of the interrogation rooms, they're always being recorded, and I don't think Aiden or his parents knew that. So they had a nice little conversation there. So while Aiden was in the interview room with his parents told him that Tristan was dead and he was the last person that was seen with Tristan. And guess what he replies? Just guess what? Yeah, he replies with, "How is that my problem?" Like, he's so chill. So while in the same room, his parents kept asking him what happened the previous night, and they also asked him multiple times that what DNA or physical evidence might turn up, and they both advised him to find a story and stick to it. Like, this is not the right time and not the right advice that you should be giving your kid. So they were asking him if there was any evidence that he might have left behind, and he told his mom that he was wearing jeans the night before, and she asked him if anything was on them, and he whispered, "Blood." So guess what she did? Guess what his mom did? She went home and washed his bloody clothes. That's what she did. She's such a good mom. That's messed up. So remember they're in the interrogation room and everything is being listened by the police. So now police have a warrant to go and search his house, and they go to his house and they do end up finding those washed clothes and some bloodied sneakers. And they also ended up finding some blood traces in the sink. Inside their house there was the security camera footage, and on that footage it can be seen that Aiden's mom, she was washing his bloody clothes from the night before. It was caught on their own security camera. Not only that, but they also ended up finding 8 pocket knives in Aiden's house, a handmade shank, and a sheath for folding buck knife. If you don't know what that looks like, I'll put a picture up here. So they have all these evidences. They're finding all these evidences in his house, and also the security camera footage where Aiden's mom is seen washing his bloody clothes. So there's a lot of evidence against Aiden for now. While Aiden was being interrogated by the police, his story would change multiple times. Sometimes he would say that he was with Tristan that night, and then they got in a fight and he pushed her and she hit her head. And the other times he would say that they were never together that night. So he can't stick to one story. I also forgot to mention that when Aiden was taken by the police for questioning, he had a pocket knife on him, which I don't know why you would want that on you. You're a kid and you're being taken to the police station. So because of the security camera footage of Crystal washing his son's clothes, she would get charged with tampering of the evidence, but she was released on a $25,000 bond, less than 2 hours after she was booked. So she didn't really spend any time in jail for trying to get rid of a very strong evidence. But it doesn't matter because the police ended up sending his washed clothes to the forensic lab, and they did end up finding blood traces on his clothes. So now police have all this evidence against him, and so they arrest him, and he was put in a detention center for the time being. So police is trying to get an idea of what Aiden is like, so they're going around questioning and interviewing his friends, and his friends would tell the police that Aiden has mentioned to them before that he wanted to kill someone. Although he didn't mention that specifically who he wanted to kill, but he had mentioned that he wanted to kill someone. Aiden's girlfriend also was interviewed, and she would tell the investigators that he would hear voices in his head when he was really angry, and those voices would tell him that he was worthless and a disappointment, and they would even tell him to kill people. She also told the authorities that Aiden would sometimes surprise her from the behind, which is so cute, isn't it? It's not. It's not. She told the investigators that sometimes he would surprise her from behind by putting a knife to her throat and then pretend to slit it. Now, I don't know about you, but that's the kind of surprise that I wouldn't appreciate that much. She also told the investigators that he would always carry a pocket knife on him. Apart from school, he would always have a pocket knife on him. That's why they also found a pocket knife on him when they were taking him to question. And he also had nicknames for his knives, Picker and Poker. She also told the detectives that less than a month before Tristan was eliminated, Fucci had told her that he was going to find a random person walking at night, drag them into the woods, and then stab them. She also said that Aiden knew something was wrong with him and he wanted to reach out for help, but he never got it. Investigators said that none of these prior threats were ever reported to them, and if someone would have said something or reported any of this, he might have gotten some help and all of this maybe could have been avoided. But unfortunately, no one ever reported his weird behaviors. A friend of Tristan was also interrogated by the investigators, and she told them that she didn't like Aiden at all, and she described him as a textbook definition of what you would call a numb kid. He has no feelings towards anyone or himself. He is the type of person you could see as a murderer. He just doesn't care. We kind of get an idea of what kind of a kid he was. I truly think that this kid needed some help and he didn't get any, which ended up him taking someone else's life, taking an innocent person's life. So the police gave a summary of what happened the night that Tristan was eliminated. They say that around 11:45 a.m., Tristan's family returned home from an evening out, and then at 12:25 a.m., Tristan got a call from Aiden. And at 12:30, Tristan and Aiden show up at a friend's house. So Tristan must have snuck out of the house. And at 1:10 a.m., Tristan and Aiden both leave the house together, and they're on their way to their own homes. So that is when they were caught on the security camera footage. At 1:24 a.m., two people were seen on the security camera footage from the community center. Then at 1:45 a.m., two people were seen on a camera video from a home surveillance, and they were walking towards the wooded area. Then at 3:27 a.m., Aiden was seen coming alone out of that area and running the opposite direction. Then at 3:30 a.m., Aiden returned to his home. So Aiden was charged as a juvenile for a second-degree murder, and his first court appearance was on May 11th, 2021 via Zoom for a detention hearing, where the judge ordered that he will be in the custody of the Department of Juvenile for 21 days, which later was changed when the grand jury decided to change his charge to first-degree murder, first-degree premeditated murder, which means that Aiden would now be charged as an adult, and if he's found guilty, he will be getting a life in prison, most likely. And in his Zoom appearance, you can see there's not much emotion. The only time we see any sort of emotion is when he's crying a little bit when his sentence is being read, and that's it. And he is charged with a premeditated murder because, as I said, that his friends and his girlfriend, everyone told that he had always mentioned that he wanted to kill someone. And then also in the security camera, when he was coming out of that wooded area, he was seen with his shoes in his hand, and it is said that he had his shoes off because he didn't want to leave any blood traces behind. Another thing, that he would always carry pocket knives with him. So all of these things made it a premeditated murder. He hasn't told, or it's not mentioned, that if he intended on killing Tristan or if she just happened to be at the wrong place at the wrong time with the wrong person. Tristan's family is obviously devastated, and they're trying everything they can to keep Tristan's legacy alive. They held a memorial for Tristan, and the theme of that memorial was aqua, which is said to be Tristan's favorite color. And there's a video on YouTube of her memorial. If you guys want to watch it, I can leave a link down below. That's it with this case. It is a tragic, sad case where a young kid lost her life. What do you guys think? Why did Aiden choose to do what he did? Why was he such a messed up kid? He was only 14. I think that's what the most scary thing about this case is, that he was only 14. And that's why I agree with him getting a life sentence, and plus getting some help, because imagine, he was just 14 right now and he did this. Imagine when he's a little bit grown up physically as well, what would he do? And the thing is, he had no motive. He had no motive to do what he did. He just wanted to do it. I also think, I don't know if I'm reaching or not, but I think there must have been some neglect from his parents, because remember, his girlfriend told the police that he wanted to get help, but he never did. I think if he would have gotten some help, a lot of this would have been avoided. But unfortunately, you can't have everything the way you want. And I have plans of uploading almost every week. And so you can subscribe if you want and like the video. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!